TikTok, and YouTube now. Perfect. So we're on all three of the channels. But you got to hit those audiences, like the short form content. Sure, I share it to X all the time because, like, I got some people that like to see it on there, and it does all right. Some of them do a little bit better than others. But the idea is I'm trying to reach the companies and the people for a reason. Or share with you guys, let you know exactly what's going on. One of these days, I'll buy good headphones that work. I promise. But that's not going to be today. But I'm Master Chef at Marinade Finance, and leading the socials and the community over there. We're doing the damn thing with DD Gaming and Scrolly Feed. Shout out to them. They are powering the stream. They're doing all the content for me from now on. That they're going to be the ones to power it because I work with them, and it makes sense. Also a member of the Zeus working group, having a good time talking about Bitcoin on Solana, why it makes sense, having conversations with people that are sticklers on the native Bitcoin side. They don't really see the reason to be on Solana, but it's like you're missing out on an opportunity. But I understand their case. I can't knock that. They say it's safe. I wanted to sit there. It's like, okay, that's fine. It goes against the whole idea of DeFi, but I get it. It was supposed to be a payment solution before. Now it's an opportunity to get yield on one of the, if not the best assets that we've ever seen. So, do your own homework when it comes to that. But anyway, I think that there is a huge benefit to getting your Solana or your Bitcoin on Solana and using the rails that are available. And if you are behind on that, you have options to stake or restake, and get Bitcoin from your Solana, which is also very dope because you just swap it back over. Now, as far as what I got going on as my schedule, guys, I'm going to fucking try to, before 10 o'clock, I'm trying to be rocking out with the GM chat. I had a meeting this morning at 6 a.m. I went until about 7, and then I had other things going on in between. I wanted to get this out, but, got it before 10, so we're good to go there. Spaces. We have another space later this afternoon at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You guys can pull up. We're going to be doing Solana chilling. I reached out to a lot of projects, a lot of people, trying to get some people in there and drum up some conversation about what's going on. If they don't pull up, I'll be talking about the stuff that I see that I think is worth talking about and sharing with you guys to let you know what's going on and what to be looking at. And basically, I mean, that's as simple as that. You got to do the heavy lifting sometimes. But that's that, guys. We're going to get into the charts real quick. If you're not following me on the other channels or other platforms, it's on my link tree. You can check it out. It's got YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and of course X, obviously. And I've added Vala, V-A-L-A. It's an app you guys probably have seen. It's basically short form content with a crypto wallet embedded into it. I like what they got going on. I'm extremely early because there's not a lot of content on there. I was adding my own hashtags to, the kind of stuff I bring to the table yesterday. And I was like, damn, if I'm adding hashtags, that means there's no competition right here. So you get to basically pave the way. So we'll get into that in a little bit. We'll take a look at some of the bookmarks that I got saved. Every time I save bookmarks, it's honestly for me to remember to go research this again and also to rehash and share with you guys the next day. That's what I like to do throughout my day, create a list of bookmarks, then go back through and share with the community so you guys know what's going on. Also, if you are not following me on Sol Made Simple, S-O-L Made Simple on X, make sure you do that. We're just over 100 followers over there, and the community is growing. I think we're at like 35 now, and we're going to continue pushing forward, guys. This is the fundamental pieces of everything I've been really building and talking about when it comes to Solana Made Simple, as far as a community, a hub, an opportunity for a lot of different things, a place to showcase talent, skills, art, all of that kind of stuff, a place to develop, and a home of developer capital markets as well. I mean, all of the stuff that we're doing or I've done, it's not like I forgot about it or I quit or anything like that. It's like I just can't do everything at one time. And I do like having my hands into things. The meeting I had this morning was a very, very interesting one. I think it went extremely well, and if everything plays out with that, it could be a great opportunity going forward. But the main thing was, question was asked is, what do you want to be doing and why? And why do I think that I'm the right person for these fits and all the stuff that I'm doing literally here with you guys? So that helped me kind of carve out my reasoning and why. And it's just a constant reminder. I have this idea of something I want to do. I just haven't done it yet because I was like, I don't know if it's going to be received well. Like now I'm like, fuck, man, I keep thinking about this shit every day. That's the one thing I probably should be doing over everything else. So Like I said, guys, I tell you guys to keep notes and bring these cards out for this reason. But I'll be the living embodiment of this. Just a small idea. Simple as that, guys. All right, let's get into it. I know we've been talking about a couple of different things here, but we're going to be taking a look at Bitcoin, Solana, NFTs, meme coins, top meme coins. If you got any suggestions, we want to take a look at anything specifically, go ahead and leave it in the comments down below. I'm mainly just reading the ones from X. I know we're streaming on YouTube and TikTok. I do believe that is set up. It seems like it's running. Let me just double check real quick. Yeah, it looks like we're good to go. We're streaming on TikTok. Awesome. One of these times I'm going to be switching, so I have like different platforms that I'm looking at, because right now I'm pretty much focused on the X audience. I want to go over it and start messing around with the TikTok guys, because there's a lot of fun over there. I'm seeing TikTok grow more and more on there. So you have the Cryptok is what they call it, whatever that means. So let me switch gears up here and try to find what it is I'm looking for. All right, quick clip from Scrolly Feed. This is the sponsor of the show. All right, guys, that's Scrolly Feed. If you haven't heard about that, guys, they're the #1 award-winning hackathon winner. That's the worst way to fucking say that. They won first place in the hackathon grand prize. Out of the 10 grand prize, they were clearly the top dog in that heat. I'm not saying that the other guys didn't bring value or bring something cool to the table, because I'm pretty sure I followed everybody that was awarded there, just to make sure we're supporting the other builders in the space. Because if you're not doing that, man, like, it's just fucking, you're gonna find where it's gonna, what's it? Put your foot in your mouth. I think that's the word that people say. What people say. Oh man, let's take a look at Scrolly Feed's page real quick, just because these guys are cooking, man. And I want to show you some of the activity over there. And if you haven't downloaded it on your Solana Seeker, make sure you first off go ahead and get yourself a King Bonk case from Solid, and then get yourself a Seeker. Download that, John, and get set up. Start playing today. You can win money from actually playing the game. And I don't know any other of these games, literally, that you can play and get high score at the end of the week and win a prize. I know that we got that set up. Dean just got back from his vacation, or holiday, as you guys in UK and pretty much everywhere but America likes to say. You guys got back from holiday, and he said there's a lot of updates, there's a lot of things he wants to talk to me about and keep me kind of tapped in on. So I'm looking forward to that call. We're scheduled for Wednesdays. We might push it. It's because today's Taco Tuesday. Shout out to that. I can't wait to have some tacos later. But yeah, we'll talk and we'll see what's going on. Big bullish stuff. Let me switch this up, share a screen or two. Oh my God. My boy. All right, I'm just going to share this one and then we'll just segue. We'll just fucking do what we usually do and have no kind of order at all. All right, cool. And good morning. This is Bulls on Society. You guys should definitely give them a share or a follow. I'm going to repost this on the timeline so you guys can see it populate up there. I talked to this guy. He's got some really cool stuff going on. And the fun fact about this, person I was talking to in this conversation, it got to the point of me looking into furthering my education. I will just keep it as vague as that. But that's what happens when you guys go into small chats. You start chopping it up with people and having a good conversation with some OGs in the space. They've been around for quite a while. We've been around each other. And yeah, dude, what they were saying and what they got cooking is extremely exciting. So let's just go to the page real quick so you guys can kind of see what's going on here and get an idea. Let me make this bigger for you. That should work. All right, Bulls on Soul Society. The Bulls are here to play. Minting on Solana, 3,333 Bulls will be released. Minting details soon. So yeah, I can't relate or say anything else. Here's a roadmap. So this will help. The Bulls have arrived. I'll count myself into that. I love this Bulls. And I'll give another little repost here. All right, breaking ground, building the farm, power meets industry, Bulls on Soul Society, built different. So you do the math and you figure out what this cartoon here represents and get an idea of what's cooking over there. But I follow these guys, and like I said, I'm extremely excited about what they got. So just leave it at that. I guess this would be a good time to bring this down here. And let's just go into the bookmarks and see what we got. Oh, wait. I wanted to show you Scrolly. All right, perfect. All right, as you can see, Scrolly, we got the gold badge up here, little check mark. 700 followers, closing in on 1,000. We have over 1,000 verified active players now. Huge milestone. Let's see what else we got. 36 hours, 5,000 plus games were played. That's amazing. Altogether, 75,000, almost 76,000 games have been played. Game time is 2,709 hours, 26 minutes. Amazing numbers like that. That's just incredible shit, right? Like, for real. Just a little video of me playing the game. Like, you guys can watch it right here. It's a super simple game. It's a shooter game, but this is one of the 17 that we got, and there's updates coming around the corner. So make sure you guys tap in and see what's good. I never used to play phone games or anything like this until I got involved with this one. And before I even worked for the team or was involved with anything, I was playing the game. I was checking it out, giving feedback, like, would you play this? And I was like, you know, this is perfect for me because I'm the kind of person that's going to tell you straight up, like, I don't play games like this. Like, I have no interest in this. But we've got ourselves a marketing team. We got a bunch of community members. We got people that are showing up and playing the game and sharing it. It's cool to be where we're at because if you pull up the Seeker phone and you go to the D-App store, we're the top game that comes up just because it's one of the most active ones, if not the most active. So, like I said, if you haven't been following along or paying attention, that's the alpha. That's what you guys got to be paying attention to. It's who's moving, who's grooving, who's setting the pace and building from within. Like we haven't spent much at all, if anything, in this month on marketing alone, and we've made marketing efforts that work. It's not always here. Let's go take a look at that real quick. I think that would be good. All right. So this right here, this was exactly what I wanted to kind of mention and discuss. Everybody thinks that you have to have this giant marketing team. So this is Real World versus Paid Ads, a 2-day poster drop that Dean did in London, brought nearly 200 new verified users. That's a 5 to 10x usual daily growth rate. All organic sometimes. All it takes is a scroll IRL. I like how he did that. Like, instead of a scroll. That was pretty funny. But the marketing isn't about budget. It's about psychology. A 4-sheet of paper, a gossip line, QR straight to Scrolly. Curiosity sells itself. I just gave it the stage. He's walked around and posted these up with his son. He's a single dad, doing his thing, holding it down. And Oakley he's actually helped develop the game and make some of the, he helped put the posters up. He's part of the team, guys. It's cool to see that because it gives you a real organic feel. It gives you authentic, like, hey, this isn't just a bunch of guys that sourced out some work and have no idea how to fix the game. Like, we are in-house devs, in-house marketing, and in-house business development. Everything is learning as we go, willing to make mistakes in the public so we can fix them as we go and let you guys know that, hey, there's not always going to be an easy road, but if we just continue to show up, progress is all you need, and that shit compounds. So shout out to Dean, and shout out to everybody that's been involved. Shout out to M. Shout out to all the devs that have interned, who have done a little bit here and there just to add to the team. Shout out to the marketers, like the whole entire Scrolly community, everybody that's played the game, downloaded it, checked it out. We really appreciate it because this is just an idea, still in its infancy, less than a year old, and the strides we're making, the questions that I'm getting asked in outside conversations that have no direct impact to this or anything. They're just like, wow, you're involved with this. How'd you guys do this? What's going on? Like, what's different? And I'm telling you guys straight up, like right here, straight face to face. So very cool stuff to see there. Let's see what we got over here. I do want to get to what's it called? I do want to get to the charts. I'm just as excited about scrolly feet. And yeah, let's switch gears up over here. All right, I'm making sure that is turned off. Solana. All right, we want to look at Solana on this chart there, not that one, right? And we're going to start with Bitcoin. Perfect. Boom, 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 boom. Give me a second. I got to message the check real quick. And I think we got another clip I can play in the meantime. Oh, yeah. Shout out to Marinade Finance, the OGs for Solana staking, your #1 staking solution.
I was glued to the charts. Every dip felt like the bottom. Every pump, just the beginning. But it never was. I lost sleep. I lost some soul. Then, I lost myself. Until I didn't. There was another way. I didn't have to chase green candles. I could make my soul work for me. Marinade staking. Instead of betting on meme coins, validators were competing for my stake. Hundreds of them, competing for the highest rewards. But not everyone gets my stake. Only the best earn it. No downtime, no shortcuts. Sam automatically delegates my stake to the top validators. Miss the APY threshold? No stake. Underperform? Bonds protect my rewards. And the best part? It works for both liquid and native staking. It's time to stop playing the game and start stacking wins. Minimize risk, maximize rewards. Marinade staking.
All right, there it is, guys. That is Marinade staking. If you are not paying attention, these guys are cooking, man. I think 2026 is going to be a huge year for them. I think there's a lot to look forward to, especially with what's going on in the markets in general, administration-wise, institutional, I guess is the best way to say that. So, whoops, fucked that up right from the get. So let's just reset that. All right. Check it out. So, if you guys are new to my streams and how I chart and all of this, I keep it pretty simple. I don't use a lot of technical terms or anything that's going to really confuse you or make you think like this is too advanced for me. I don't know what the fuck is going on. I'm going to be very, very clear on that. This is to make sure you guys understand it in the most basic way where you can say, this is what's going on with the market and this is what blah, 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 blah. All right, so first things first, we had a downtrend all the way to here and then a full on reversal where it flipped. Obviously, you can see it comes down here to a point. You have two bottoms and then it what's it called? Retest or retraces. it starts to trend back up there, resets the whole tempo and the trend, and it starts going up. So we were up straight up there, chopped to the side for quite a while. And then we made a new all-time high. Well, not all-time high. We made a new high, and then we chopped again, retested, chopped, and then sold off there. So we didn't get the gap fill handle and then go up for a new high. We had to come back down here, and then it wasn't able to. So we broke down, came all the way back down here, did the same thing we did here with a reversal. That's the word I was looking for. Sometimes we can't fucking find them. But that's the reversal right there. We came back up, and you see this top right here? See where you got stopped out on this little, like, let's retest, see if we can reclaim this high. It said, nah, we're coming back down all the way to here where this was happening. So you got to look at it like, think about the market, think about your trades like you're on, I guess the best way to say it is like you're on a comet, right? So the comet is the trade. It's the actual asset, and everything else is the tail. That's what you're seeing on a chart and in the market. You can rarely get into the market and like grasp that play, but you can follow the tail of it and you can use that for indicators to try to, see where it's going to go and use risk mitigation. When you are leveraging in a position, you're locking yourself into that unless you exit that position, regardless of that comet or the market, the way it's going to travel. and you can use all the fucking indicators in the world. If that comet decides to go that way or this way, like, you're riding that unless you have the tools, unless you have the right things in place, like stop orders, take profits, so on and so forth, for that trade. So with that being said, it's not ideal to ride on a comet either, because you could burn up in there. And that's what happened this weekend. A lot of people they thought they were in the right position. They thought they were going to make life-changing gains, and some of them bet the house on it. You never fucking do that in this game. Ever. You never do that. Unless you were just like, you know what, I've got nothing else, or you have a ton to lose where it's not going to change your life. Freedom isn't holding on to money that you can't lose. You are very much tied and trapped to those funds. Freedom is being able to lose that money, know that it's okay, you have something to replace it, and you continue going on without any stresses, without having to worry about anything. Like, that's freedom. Like, if you have a certain amount of money and you're like stuck to the chart, you can't interact with anybody else, you have to watch the chart daily, that's not the best place and position to be in, because you're trapped. Like, for me, I didn't have anything open. I did take profit. I brought a truck. So, like, I'm not one of those people that is adamantly going to tell people hold, or say you're a coward or FUD you on the timeline because, like, you sold. I'm gonna be like, good for you. What'd you buy? What'd you do? What'd you reinvest it into? You know, like, how'd you improve the quality of your life? Did crypto work for you? Because this is something that you typically can't do outside. You know, you can't go swing a hammer and be really good at it and, you know, be able to have all the freedom in the world. No, you got to show up the next day and the next day and the next day. And there's nothing wrong with that for people that choose to do that. I did it for 17 years, but I realized that there's another way out. And once you realize that there's a game like that's being played, you can start playing game too. You just have to just get in. There's no walls that were there before. You have to play with the rules when it comes to traditional finance. And with DeFi, there's a little less rules, a little bit more wiggle room, more options to stretch a dollar a little bit further, and that's why we're here. But when you're playing the market, when you're playing your positions, I've made a video to break this down on really simple numbers. If you had $1,000, I say take 300, put it into stables right away, right then and there. Don't even worry about anything else right now. Make sure you got 300, like a good chunk of that just sitting there stabled up. About a third of your portfolio should be in that. And then I broke the other two down into your staking for liquid staking with MSOL, so you can have DeFi strategies. Plus, if the market goes up or down, you would be able to still get accumulation on that Solana. That's just the way it works. That's staking. You get rewards for every EPO that it goes through. You're able to collect more Solana. That's inherently the nature of that. So you would want to use something something similar to that, which is the restaking method with BTC Sol. This is literally the game plan. You stake your Solana like you're already staking it, the MSOL, because you use the liquid Sol for restaking methods, and then you take that into BTC Sol, and you got to be thinking 5 to 10 years. If you're thinking 6 to 12 months, you better get a better asset with more volatility, because like it ain't gonna happen. Like, you might get a little bit more, but you're not gonna really build your portfolio for long-term wealth. You wouldn't even know what to do with it when you get it, because you fucking got it overnight and you made some mistakes to try to get even more. That's what leads to greed and a loss. 9 times out of 10. Ask any seasoned investor or trader, they're going to give you the same exact breakdown when it comes down to that. So do what you got to do with that. So my point is, if you are doing the restaking, for instance, I'm suggesting BTC Sol because I'm extremely behind on my accumulation and my size of BTC. I would like to have more. And how are you going to know where to buy it? Are you going to buy it 11,000 or 111, 120? Are you going to wait for it to go lower? I don't think we go much lower, but than 100 to 190. And if you do, that's going to be on like some severe crashing situation. I think if you zoom out, the whole picture shows you we're doing all right. We did dip below the trend this time, but we've seen things like that happen. And this wasn't the biggest liquidation that we've ever seen. Maybe the biggest size, but the biggest liquidation. I got to look at the notes on there, but it's something about that. Like, it's huge and it's drastic, and a lot of people got wrecked. But again, it's like, you get what you deserve. If you're betting the house in a volatile situation where you could lose everything, that is always an option there. And you're playing a loser's game. Most people lose in that. That's why you see, perpetual tokens like JLP do well, because people are betting against the market. Their money goes into there, so on and so forth. You'll get the idea. My point is, diversify your portfolio. Bitcoin is one of the least volatile cryptos at this point because it's so large. You're still going to have volatility to it, but it's not going to swing that way. But overall, even if it goes down, you're going to be fine because you can buy more and it's still going to be an asset of extreme value. Now, if you do that with like useless, I can't guarantee it's going to be here next year. There's a good chance it's useless. Nobody wants to do anything with it. But I don't know for a fact that that coin's going to be around and have the community, the sustainability. It's nothing comparable to like any altcoins, nothing comparable to Bitcoin. So when you're looking at caps, like market caps of coins, large, small, alts, whatever, like meme coins are going to be one of the last ones. So we went stables, we went native Solana, and then we started staking some of that, and then we restaked some of that. Now we're accumulating more. And then you also have the opportunity to collect Bitcoin. Now, just because you put this $1,000 in, the goal is every single week and month to keep contributing to that. That's how compound gains are going to start being established. So once you have your initial like nest egg there, you're going to each week put 25 bucks into it, 25 bucks into this one, 25 bucks into this one. And these should be thinking like, all right, this is going to be, part of my whatever. If you're trying to buy a house, put it on there. For me, like for instance, this wallet, this whole entire 10% challenge where I'm utilizing this exact strategy, the 10% of everything you make using the strategy to keep stables, keep some liquid staking, and keep some into restaking with a little bit allocated to meme coins. This strategy over a year, September to September, will be the treasury for the Solana Made Simple fund, I guess is what I'll call it. But like it's basically I'm going to use myself as an example of how you can raise money yourself over time, investing, saving on the side, maintaining everything else, and get back to it. But anyway, back to the chart. We're completely on a side tangent there, but diversify your portfolios, find some good plays. All right, so there's something we've seen here time and time again where we make a high and we come down and we break down, we don't make a new high and it goes lower. Typically that gives us an opportunity to come back up, fill that gap, make the new high. Very similar thing here, not as pretty as the setup, but very similar strategy here. And then I'm looking at it on a bigger scale. Will we see this again? I don't know, but it looks like that's the way it's going. Who knows? So I want to look a little bit closer now. I want to see what's going on right here on the dailies. Like you have this big old wick here, but we bought half of that back up same day, right? So that's great. But we did wick down to 103,000. Now I just want to take a look just because I'm curious. Where did I put some lines and say, hey, we could come back down and test these points? Well, that would be here. So we extend this out here just to kind of see where we're at right now and what the fuck is going to happen next, where our ranges are going to be, and where we can start to chart from there. All right, so this looks like a really good solid like foundation support. You got resistance, you got support, you got support, you got resistance. You see what I'm saying? Like I call these intersections where you put that line all the way across and it keeps tapping on, different intersecting price points, giving you historical reference. And again, this is psychology. Most people are going to see that and say the same thing I'm saying. So that builds that support level at that price point. That's why you look for these. So I would say, since we did go down there, we did bounce and then we did come back up here and we are maintaining 111 right now. And we have been kind of going up. It's been only a day or two since then. So you don't want to really judge anything on there. That's a recovery from the weekend of like, oh my God, I'm buying the dip. And then these people are like, I'm selling out for break even. And then they're like, oh, I'm buying the rest of the dip. That's me. So the other thing is, I want to take a look at this. I gave you 3 different options of how this could play out back in the beginning of October, roughly 2 weeks ago. I said, hey, we're gonna continue to trend up here, kind of retest right here, this high. That's why I did it at that bouncy point, and see if we can continue trending up. Or I said we were going to come up here, we're going to get rejected, and we're going to come back down, and we're going to retest this area right here, where you have 2 points of resistance. And it said, nah, fuck you, dog. We're going all the way through that to the bottom over here where we have some support. And damn sure it said, we can go even further, dog. That's no big deal. And it came down further, which is crazy. But that's what happens. When you go back and you look at this and say, we're in October, you can draw the tinfoil hat theory that this has been manipulated and staged and set up this way to provide liquidity, to take liquidity, to continue building opportunities. So this win is great for somebody that was able to run this up here and then take it all out here. Now this gives all of these people opportunities. I was buying the blood. I was buying all of my positions that were down. Not all of them were down, to be honest with you. So it's not that big of a deal. I mean, let me rephrase that. Not all of them were down bad, so I wasn't too worried. I mean, I roughly look at 20 to 30%. That's pretty average for a swing. On crypto, past that, now you're looking at averaging into a position, which is a great idea, and that's where the meme coins came into play. So if you weren't able to have sold or taken profits or stabled up at that point and you got wrecked, buy back when it's on sale. Like, it's the same thing as your favorite pair of shoes, food, whatever it is. It's the same thing. If the value's still there, price changed. All right, so the third option was we're going to break down, come all the way down here, and what do you know? We came down, we're playing with these areas. It just, to me, I use historical reference lines to say, okay, if it is bullish, we're holding this. If it is just chopping, we're going to stay right around this area. If there is some bearish sentiment, we're coming all the way back down to these areas and retesting that. That's what we did. But I didn't draw these lines out. I wasn't trying to predict where we're going to go. I want to see where we go and then see what we can do with that going forward. So now, where do we think we're going to go? Well, I think we're going to bounce somewhere in this area because we have so much support, resistance, all the way back here to 2024. So you have plenty of room to see this actually bounce up here and make some headway. We'll see how that plays out. But right now, 111,000, 112,000 roughly. It's looking like it kind of wants to bounce up a little bit. Let's take a look at the closer range on the hour, and then we'll switch over to Solana. Okay, let me, whatever I moved, I did not mean to do that. I promise I don't have any attention deficit. All right. Oh, look, we bounced over that point. I'm gonna have to put this on mute real quick so I can finish this. All right, so this is Bitcoin. We are down to the hour on here. This takes you back to where we had this huge fucking Pitts missile to hell and back. But we came back, so who gives a shit, right? That's how I feel, personally. Who cares? Cry about it later. No crying in the casino. And if you're in the casino, find somewhere else to be, because this isn't the place to cry. So we came down here. We've got a gap fill. That's literally all we got to worry about right now is 122 range. And I mean, we knew there was something here. Like, when you start to see this happening and you're not making higher highs, you're making lower lows, that was a good indicator that, like, somebody knew something was happening. They're taking profits. Like, these legs up here were probably the peak indicators. This one and this one. Pay attention to this stuff. When you see it happening again, or you get a feeling, your gut's probably right, because other people are probably thinking the same thing, and it usually works out that way. So anyway, we came back down here and shit happens. We sold off, we found support, broke through the trend here, bounced back up above the trend, but we came back down and retested 110,000 or so. We've got green on the day. If you look down at the MACD on the hour, this does show us that we have some upside potential. It looks like we're going to reclaim $115,000 probably in the next day or two. That would just be my guess right here. One thing I like to do is really focus in on MACD and RSI when I'm looking for swings. That's why I use historical price references to say, like, all right, what would it take for it to potentially get here? This ran up from this point, this ran all the way up to here. Like, could I get a swing there? Probably put high leverage on that if there's good momentum. Everybody's talking like, you know, things are good, but what I'm looking at here is we got dark red to light pink. Once we flip this light pink to light green to dark green, we would love to see that. I mean, this even went from light pink to dark green right away, telling you that there's massive buyers stepping in. So the lower we get on the RSI, it looks like we're sitting at 32, which is great. Below 30 is oversold, which means buyers will start to step in, and that's what we look like. It looks like we got a setup here for that. we could see this reject, come back down, retest 110,000, so you have a nice W form, and then it would probably shoot back up here. If you get into any lower positions, aiming for a swing to 122 is just a good target. 121, 122, in between there. Don't be greedy. Take your fucking profit and put it into a better play, or put it in your pocket. Go buy your wife dinner or something. I don't fucking care. But the thing down here, you see the blue line and the orange line. You're going to want to see the blue line cross over the orange as a signal. And once that happens, you're going to see that that is flipping sentiment, and you're going to be likely heading into a bullish case. Basically meaning that we're going to start seeing green on the charts. We're going to see everything pump. Like, for us to reclaim this, what, $10,000 in the price action, it's going to pump every other market up, every other coin. I mean, Solana's even moving right now just off of this little bit right here. So let's switch gears up real quick, guys, and take a look, and we will break it down. And then we'll switch over to look at some NFTs. Probably go a little bit longer today just because I don't mind covering what we got cooking. Let's see. Are we at the right chart? Of course we are. Perfect. Let's reset that for you guys. I'm gonna give you guys a little spin on this thing right here. Yeah, for you, I missed it. I had the wrong screen on. Fuck. I got the glasses back on. The lights are bright, guys. Lights are bright. But no, I got these at Art Basel. Looking forward. I might go down to Art Basel again. Since I'm not going to be abroad, I might go down to that. I know it's coming up soon, so I'm going to have to start planning some things. All right, we got Solana up on the charts here. Let's switch this back over here and take a look at what we got cooking over here. Pretty same thing, pretty similar setup. I mean, they follow each other, so that's obvious. You're going to see a little bit sharper moves with this. What am I doing? Let me go all the way back out here, show you exactly what this monstrosity looks like. All right, so this is a deep overview of Solana from when I got in. So let's just see, September 2021. All right, I got in here, I guess it was around here, $100 some basically for Solana. Like, this is my entry to crypto. I was messing around with stocks, options, Bitcoin, and Ethereum in this area, but this is when I got in, like right around this general area for crypto, which is pretty wild. But we ran it all the way up, and then we ran it all the way down here, and then we bid the hell out of it. But all of this is like this section right here. This is the juiciest. This is why we are experiencing this right here, because all of these people that said we're not leaving, we're fucking staying. There was a space that was held around this date. All right, so you guys are starting to see the way I chart and the way I do things here. Let me even show you this. We got rockets in the chat. Bam. Oh, back this up here. And that's where we're headed. I just want you to be very clear. This is what the setup we got. Who cares about these sell-offs, man? Look at the big picture. Look at 2030. Look down the road where your couple dollars can go. Look at some smart long-term investing. Like, using those strategies, I said, if this continues to trend like this for the next 3 years, just think about the ROI you will have with fucking patience, man. Let the compound gains accumulate. I'm telling you, you're gonna thank me at some point. If you're in the game now, if you've been in here since any of this point since I've been here, there is no reason to get out, because it's not looking like it wants to come all the way back down here. And if it does, spend as much time as you can accumulating cash to buy the bottoms, or buy as much of the bottom as you possibly can to get that freedom back, so you can do the things you want to in life. That is what crypto is about to me. It's the transfer of wealth. It's the opportunity to, you know, do the things that you think about when you wake up and you're at work and you're fucking pissed off at your boss and you don't think anything's fair. Like, straight up, that's the shit that you got to keep of, why am I doing this? I was knee deep in snow and doing trades, and I was like, there's no way I'm doing this for the rest of my life. There's got to be another way. And I found it. It was through crypto. It was through investing, I should say, and learning to invest and being willing to make some of the mistakes along the way. But all of that, my point is, I wanted to show you this here. We got a lot of people fearing this, that, or another thing, worried about their bags. Brother, sister, cousin, uncle, aunt, whatever you want. We were fucking ranging for about a year and a half, if not longer. I mean, take out these two spikes here, which really did nothing but get more people interested and more like institutional investors in here. This is where we've been. Like, this is the average, is below $200, above $110, I think is $120. And that's where we have literally ranged through here. The fact that we have found support and bounced over top here, repeating this, is great, because it looks like this is enough accumulation for us to actually get up top here. And if we can get up top of these levels, we're going to start to make higher highs and start trending in that direction. Of course, the economy needs to work in our direction. Of course, all of the things with the administration doesn't help the case, but it is what it is. It does give anybody that missed out up to this point another entry into you. So, like, I look at it as sales. I look at it as a Black Friday, not a Black Swan. I keep my positions according to how this can constantly happen. Like, look how many times this has gone down in the wrong way where people have gotten wrecked. Like, instead of just being able to buy this, like, this should be like, great, great, great. Look how many great opportunities you had to buy more. That should be the psychology here. So that's that. Let's just look a little bit closer into what we got going on, because it's not really going to change the conversation. We're going to have to fill this gap. We're going to have to bounce above there. We're going to have to look at historical references and see basically what we were just talking about. Like this line, we pull it out here, we start to see, okay, cool. So we've got some tops, we got some resistance, and we broke through and then came right back down. Didn't even pay attention to it there. So cool. We got to come back down here lower and see what we got. I think I need to go to the 4 hour here. Yeah, that makes more sense. So let's see what this guy does here. And trust me, I know my charts are a mess. That's why they're my charts. So just bear with me here, guys. We're doing the best we can. Bang. All right. So this little section right here, I want to point out. I like it. This is where we bounced. That's where we have previous points. We have resistance here, and we're finding it again here. And now it looks like we're trying to figure out, where do we want to go through here? This area here, let's see if we got a line, anything that we can pull across. All right, let's look at this here. This breakout point here, right? No, that's not the one I want. I think that's it right there. Yeah, okay, so right here, right about this point where this broke out, right in the middle of that, to here, that's good. And that's resistance here. So, all right, my reason for that is all the way back here, you can see, like, see this top? Now, if we take this and take it all the way back here, you can see kind of what I'm looking at. these areas right here where you hit that high, it came back down, it retested, but broke all the way back down. It couldn't even get back up there until it did. It filled that gap and it just went straight back up. It had enough accumulation. It had enough just bouncing and ranging across here for it to make that high. And like I said previously, if we could hold this, we're in a good spot, because it will continue to do what it did here, just at a higher level. But it broke down and it did a 50% drawback, basically from here to here, right in the middle. You kind of like cut that in half. It tried to reclaim that, and it almost did, but this sold off all the way. That's where we're at right now, in the middle of a huge gap fill, huge W pattern that has formed right here. It's fighting through this just because that's where we're at in life. Like, that's just the way it's going to happen. But we're hoping that we're going to get this kind of movement. Like, that's what I'd like to see off of these areas. I'd like to see something like that. That's the resistance. That's the support. You see it again right here in the middle. So we'd like to see this continue going up. We'd like to catch right here and obviously go up. But I do want to bring this up. This is the 4 hours, so it is fair to show this. There is a little bit of a downtrend, you know, specifically right here. It doesn't have to be perfect, guys. You just got to see lower highs, lower lows. We continue to establish that. If we keep hitting these marks on the way down, not a pretty site to be in. We're probably coming down a lot lower. But we'll take a look at Bitcoin. We'll continue to watch that. I mean, this can be a little bit more clean. I usually use the parallel, what's it called, diagonal little indicator, but that's good enough for now. Yeah, so in the short term, what do we think is going to happen? I'm thinking 40. I mean, it's not really like overbought or oversold. You're going to have to let the market, you know, play out. If Bitcoin flips up and it finds support at a higher level, I think you bring up everything else. Obviously, we did see that little bit of a spike this morning and a little bit of a run, but we've come down since. I wouldn't be too worried about anything. I would personally be hands off with most of my positions. Honestly, I would. What I see is I would probably stay away a little bit. I would look at meme coins and NFTs. Honestly, at this point, I'm gonna stop saying that word. I'm gonna keep saying this shit to you guys. All right, yeah, we'll definitely take a look at that. Let's share this tab right here. I'm gonna close this out right here, and let's see if we can't take a look at some meme coins real quick. I know we're a little bit past the time, or no, we're not. We're good. Everything's red. Beautiful. What we love to see. I'm gonna go to Troll. This is my favorite coin. I just like it. So yeah, this makes sense. When the market's just basically flat, or the you know, volatile ones are down, anything. I mean, when you see all of these basically within 10%, that's not too bad. It looks like we're just kind of going sideways, trying to figure out what the market wants to do, and that's exactly what Bitcoin and Solana are telling us right now. That's why I said we have to see if we can go on top of Bitcoin, hold that support, and then we'll be able to pull the rest of the market up. But right now, like I said, your meme coins are going to look better because people are going to be trying to find them, or they're going to look drastically worse, and that's okay too. But to me, this looks like people are buying these sell-offs and accumulating, like myself. Joel's definitely one of my bigger positions, without a doubt. I talk about it almost every day. I like that one. Let's take a look at Bonk. Bonk's one that I would like to make a larger position, but I've been waiting for an opportunity for it to come down a little bit lower. I don't mind it where it's at now, but I do have a hard time forgetting about the airdrop. So I'm like, I really want to get in low. All right, so this is perfect. This right here was your opportunity because you missed all that. This was your second opportunity, which we talked about back in springtime. Here was another chance, and then this was another amazing opportunity, lower than both of these, actually. So you had a good chance to get in. I honestly was hovering my finger over the button to be like, all right, bye, send it. But I was like, nah, let me wait. Because I'm not saying I think it's going to go lower in the short term. I think that my investment has a better chance with some other plays that have fundamentals, not like Bonk. I think Bonk is just on another tier, but I think that they will make more, so I can cash out and sit on that and wait for Bonk to come back to, you know, this point or lower, basically. Like, I'm not gonna say by rule like, oh, I will only buy it if it goes this low. I'm not gonna do that. I'm dead ass. So I will buy this thing probably at the top. That's how I usually buy things. I'm joking, but you know how that shit goes. You think you get in a good position, then it's like sell off time right there. But anyway, my point is that this has come down to this point a few times. I would strongly take a look at this and be like, hey, do I have any bonk? Am I grabbing any of this? Like, don't grab everything that you see. That sounds like a good idea. Like, if you have $100 and it's split between more than 2 or maybe 3 positions, you're fucking up. You shouldn't have that much exposure with that little amount of capital. You need to put that into one. And if you don't want to put it all into one at one buy, wait, just do like a third of it and then wait and then do it again and then do it again. Just keep waiting. And so it's like, all right, I've got everything in. I think I bought all the bottom, and wait for it to come up one time. And then you're going to be really, really happy. You take 80% out, let the rest of it ride, and you start the process all the way back over. But bonk's something that I think you guys should look at. Next one is going to be pump. I've talked about this one when it was very, very low. I like this coin. I like the narrative because everybody hates it. I was like, that's a pretty easy one. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna wrap up the meme coins a little bit earlier. Maybe we'll start with meme coins first next time. I don't want to kill too much time. I got shit I gotta get done. All right, pump.fun. I do like the sell-off right here. That's beautiful. That's what I want to see. Hell yeah. Exactly what I want to see. And I don't mean that because I want your bags to go down. I just want to get in the bags with you, if that makes sense. But this is where I was talking about this, guys. I was like, yo, everybody's hating on this coin because of this sell-off. I was like, look at Pengu. Look at what it's done. Nobody could, account for this. Nobody really saw any of this happen. So, like, you can't really judge the market based on that or the token or anything else other than overall market sentiment. But it came all the way back down here. I think my buy was in this area, and we ran all the way the fuck up here. And I thought we were going to go higher. At that point, I was like, damn, we're about to hit a penny. But we didn't. So now you have a chance. This is going to go back up. This is without a doubt. You got a W forming right here. It's going to fill the gap. It's going to come up, retest here. Then it's going to start staircasing its way back up. I'm here. I'm in it here. This is great because you can see broke down, filled the gap, broke down, trended all the way through this one, caught itself right here, double tapped. You like to see that. Like I said, expect this to climb back up shortly and get yourself positioned accordingly. Next thing we got NFTs. All right, shout out to DeGods getting a nice little bit of a movement. 6.079. We've got Player 2 at 1.3. We've got Mad Lads 31.6. Cyberfrogs, these guys got a little bit of a jump, right? 0.84. Oh, they sold off a little bit too. No big deal. A lot of people bought into these. A lot of people sold off for profits. No big, that's good. You want to see volume. You want to see that happening. You want to see people buying and selling. That's absolutely phenomenal. We've got SMB Gen 2s at 16.83, Pythians at 2.039, Pump Fun Pepe or Pump Fun Pepe 1.3, Play Solana NFT 3.7, Claynos at 10.69, and Wassiverse at 4.58. A lot of NFTs seeing some upward trajectory. All right, I want to go specifically just pick out a couple here. Maybe I should just start with that. All right, let's see what we got here. The boosted ones are the ones that I was focused on the most. Damn, I haven't updated this list in a minute. Well, first off, let's just go look at the geckos since we're here. I would get a gecko. That's the best line I can give you as far as that. Take a look at geckos, guys. I would not fade these guys. 5.47. I bought one for 3 point something 2 weeks ago. This is going to continue to happen, and yeah, do your thing. I like this guy a lot. I really wish I could fucking buy him. I'm not gonna front. I do like that the look of him. But geckos are a good one to get into. There's a lot of reasons to look into collections like these OG ones. I know they're not boosted. This isn't the point of what I was talking about, but take a look at them. Let's take a look at Stoned Ape Crew, this is my first NFT, or was my first NFT purchase on Solana. That's facts. Okay, these are nice prices. Nice entry here. This is a Stone Day Crew. These are boosted as well, so you get a little bit of a bonus. Eligible reward activity for this collection will receive a boost. So basically, if you're buying NFTs off of the floor and you're holding on to them, hold on to them for a few weeks. I got like twice the amount that I paid when I bought a couple Meerkats, but I wanted to hold on to Meerkats because just here's the alpha. If you like Galactic Gecko's art, you're going to have very similar, well, not similar, you're going to have the same artist recreate the Meerkat collection. It's not boosted this week, but it is worth taking a look at. A couple notables, I'll say. Yeah, see right there, Meerkats. We got Cups, Zero Monkey Biz, Gains. We got the Geckos, Saga Monkeys, Klenos, Gorbaggio, Transdimensional Fox Federation, OK Bears, Bodoggos. Those would be a good one to get into right here, I think. Same with the Generate Ape Academy. I like both of these collections, super highly undervalued. Same with Famous Fox. You know what? This whole list you should own if you could, but that's it. That's all I got for you guys. I'm gonna close this out here. We hit 1 minute 6 seconds. Not too bad. Not past an hour and 15 minutes, 30 minutes like we've done before. But I am gonna wrap this up, guys. I appreciate your support today. If you don't mind resharing and tagging a friend, let them know we took a look at price action, a couple meme coins, some NFTs. We'll tap into a little bit more details and things. Just got carried away with talking about other things. That's how it goes. But I'll catch you in the morning. GM chat, guys. I'll see you then. Maybe we'll get a daily stream later this afternoon. We'll play it